welcome back, episode 3. We are gonna.
Sorry, I got excited.
Today, we're just gonna break down the difference between fitness on social media and fitness in real life, because there's a big difference of what people show or what people feel.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Right, I think in everyone's opinion, and I think if people can't admit that they do it themselves, even intentionally or not intentionally, then you need to have a hard, long think. I know I do, and I know I do it just sometimes by accident, and then sometimes because you just want to feel good and you don't want to post the ugly photo. So.
I think everyone does it. Like, for example, like if I go to the gym, I'll film my last set, because that's like the sweatiest one, where I look like I've worked the hardest compared to the first one.
I think most people do it. I think there's a pressure on Instagram. I think it's changing as the years are going on.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's such a pressure on Instagram to look good or to have that body perfect image, and to only share the part where you look toned and the lighting's popping on your abs and everything like that, rather than like the real photo of you at the end of the class, sweating, looking blotchy and red. Like, obviously nobody wants to portray their not perfect side, but I think sometimes we fall into the trap of we can only show the perfect side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. But I think, like you said, a lot of more people are kind of changing that narrative. They're pushing towards, they're posting photos of like when you sat on the bench before you set and you're like hunched over, rolls, whatever. People are posting more things like that, which is, I think it's reassuring for people to see, especially younger people.
Yeah, and do you know, I will hold my hands up. I was completely, not for any other reason, but just for my own, I just wasn't strong enough mentally to post that side of it myself. And I think when I decided to start my fitness account, everything changed. Like my personal account that I barely use anymore was all picture perfect Phoebe.
Yeah.
Like, even if there was a piece of hair out of place, like I would send 10 of the same photos to my friends saying, which selfie do I post?
But when you see that we did this in secondary school, like in year 7, you'd send like loads of different ones and you'd be like, which one? Pick 1 to 10.
Yeah. And they'd all look the same anyway. But anyway, since I started my fitness Instagram, that has helped me massively. I'm still on the journey there, but it has helped me massively to share and to show like the rawness and the real me. Like, the thought of talking to the camera mid-run, sweating, barely any makeup, or like, I don't know, patchy tan or whatever, I would have been like, no, God, delete it, please, Charlotte, delete it. And now I'm just like, hi guys, I'm on a 10K. And I think if I didn't have my fitness Instagram, I would still be trapped in the...
Yeah, because would you have posted that kind of thing? Would you post that kind of thing now on your personal one?
I would, like, I collab a lot on my personal, which I wouldn't have ever done, like, of running photos at the end of a race, like the end of the ultra, I collab that because I'm so proud, but I don't look my best. My figure's not popping, I'm not playing the right angles, but I was proud, so I don't care that much. I don't really use my personal Insta anyway.
Neither.
All of my friends are on my fitness Insta.
Yeah. Literally, I never use my personal one. Well, I'll occasionally, like, I posted something on, I just repost people's stories on there if I want it to be shared bigger. But I can't remember the last time I posted.
And do you know what it is? My fitness Instagram, I made a pact to myself that I'm only going to follow people who I generally, well, obviously the people who I train with, I'll follow. Yeah. But the people who I genuinely like want to look up to and see their feed and take it in, because I don't think you realise how much you're looking on social. Like, when I switch back to my personal Instagram and I'm still following, just because I haven't cleared them out, but I'm still following, like, I don't know, like the typical influencers off Love Island and all of that. And don't get me wrong, I still look at them, I'm like, wow. But it is kind of the unrealistic standard, and I do feel a difference myself when I'm scrolling on my personal Instagram in bed compared to my fitness.
Yeah.
Like, the level of how I feel about myself and inspires is crazy.
I literally just never go on my personal. There's nothing interesting on my personal one, no offence to anyone.
Anyone on her personal, you're not interested?
But the people that are actually like my friends, if they send me stuff on my personal account, they should just know that I'm not going to reply, because I just never go onto it.
Yeah.
So the people that I actually care about follow my fitness account anyway.
So how many times have you either taken a photo, taken like 10 at the same angle or different angles just to get that one Instagram story?
Literally this morning.
Oh, okay.
No, when you just take like a photo, and this is what I do anyway. I look at it and I'm like, okay, that's all right. And then I go to post it, and I'm like, right, what
Do you over critique it?
Yeah, I'm like, what should I write on it? And then as I'm writing something, I'm like, oh, hang on. And then oh, you know what, forget it. And then I just leave it. Or I then take more, because it's just the more you constantly just look at it, it's so bad. You're like, oh, that could be. But to be fair, I have got a lot better. I'm just like, okay, post it. Like,
I was going to say, I think you've seen the difference from when you probably first started and everything was picture perfect in the camera to now more like you posted the one of you at the end of the auction, you were like, like you have seen the difference of where you've like grown as a person.
Yeah. It looks so much better as well, I think, when you post. Just what I think you can kind of tell with some people when they've literally just taken one shot photo, or they've sat there and gone through loads. And
but then I'm not hating on that, because I do that, and I think
it's just going to fall down on me again.
Yeah, I'm not hating on that at all, because I still do it and I will still do it, but I'll be open about it. I will stand there in the mirror after a gym session and get that perfect angle, and if the lighting's not popping, I will move and get the lighting to pop, because sometimes you do just want a good photo, and I'm not photoshopping it. It is still me. I'm just aiding it. But equally, I will post the not so good as well.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, so pressure-wise, from seeing other things like influencers, especially more so influencers that are coaches or trainers and stuff like that. Okay. From my perspective, I always like compared to other accounts like that, because obviously I'm a coach. So I was like, oh, they do well. So I'm like, I want to be like that. So I would try and like use them as inspiration, but then take it too far. And I'd be like, compare my business or my successes to theirs when they've been doing it for like, what? I don't know, like 10 years maybe. Whereas I've been doing it for like 2 years nearly.
But I bet you were only comparing the Instagram, like you weren't comparing how much money they've put into it or how much like years they've had coaching. You were just comparing like
exactly, because you don't know those things. Yeah. So it's the same as like you don't know how many photos they've taken or how many times they've switched positions to get different lightings and stuff like that. I feel like that's always a pressure, career-wise. Anyway.
Yeah, talking about the comparison and comparing, I think that's what switched me to show more of my raw side, because I would look at these people, these insane athletes who, like, I'm not taking it away from them, they are insane, but they are sponsored and their full-time job is to train and do social media, and I'll be looking at their content of them always being happy and, oh, I'm just going out for double session today, a high rock session in the morning, and then a threshold run on the evening, and all of this, and I was thinking like...
That adds up to like 5 hours of training.
Oh yeah, and I was comparing my life, working like a full-time job, trying to train, trying to do social, like it just, I couldn't do it, and I didn't understand it, and then I was always seeing them happy or like enjoying a session, and when I then wasn't enjoying a session or when I didn't want to go to the gym, I almost felt guilty for that, and I was like, oh, I need to be more like them. So that's when I think I switched to showing, I think I did like the Gymshark 75, and one of my pledges was share something, what did I call it?
It was like a...
Unfiltered.
It was like a vulnerable or like a truth or something.
And I wanted to share like something real every day, so that the people who felt like me could relate. I think I definitely needed that. I needed someone out there who is a big, massive influencer to share that side of it as well, to make me almost feel okay, which is weird because it shouldn't be the case, but you do naturally.
You do naturally, because like obviously the influencers, they're like, they've got crazy following and stuff like that, and like if you look at their Instagram just like a glance, you're like, oh, that looks really good, but like you said, that is their job, and to train around that job is, it's not, I'm not saying it's easy, but that was a very flexible job to be able to spend 3 hours in the gym in the morning and then run in the evening. And then you just automatically think in your head like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then you're like, shit, I really don't have the same kind of time as someone else, so you're obviously not gonna have the same outcome.
Yeah, I love it when I see them post up something saying like, oh, I really don't want to go to this session, or that was a really bad session and I just had to get on with it, because you don't see that side. I think so many people only post the good sessions, the good run. So many people only post their good runs, their PBs, and they go, or they're really fast runs and it was just a steady, slow run. Like, why are we still scared?
I used to do that. Like when I started running, I suppose. When I started running again, after like for the first time after when I was younger, I would like be running as quickly as I can. Like I did it. Like I made sure that I hid my heart rate on the thing. And like, yeah, just easy.
No. Why are we scared to post something and be like, that was a struggle?
I think everyone is, like, not even to do with fitness, just like anything, anyone. It's just a human thing. We just don't want to admit that we're struggling with something.
Yeah, that's one of my things this year. I really want to just admit it, show it. Like if I'm struggling, if that was painful, if I struggled today, then share it. Equally though, but when I do good, I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. I want to share both. But
I think I've got a lot better at, like, I literally just put on the Strava caption, for example, like that was really hard, and that was literally it. I don't have to explain why it was a struggle. Just put on that was difficult.
My ankle's gone because of this and that. But then you don't need to justify it. Yeah. I do sometimes, but that's, I think, for myself, when I look back at things, I can see why that was the case.
Yeah, because you almost look at your training, you're like, why was that so hard? But that was so easy. And then you realise, you're like, oh, maybe it was because, I was actually slept bad, ate bad, injured, whatever.
Or have you ever compared yourself to yourself?
All the time. I think that's healthy.
Oh, okay. So we've got completely different opinions on this. You go.
I think comparing yourself to yourself, well, it's healthy because it's far healthier than comparing yourself to someone else.
Yeah.
But if you compare yourself to yourself, it can push to you being way too hard on yourself and you go the wrong way. But if you look at it as a whole, it makes you a better person.
Oh,
whether it's physically compared to like fitness wise or like mentally and like your approaches on things.
Okay, so you're definitely cup half full today, and I'm definitely cup half empty. Yeah. I'm the complete opposite. I was thinking, like, when I've compared myself, like I've literally caught myself doing it this week, where obviously we've come out of the ultra training block, where I think I've used the ultra training as an excuse to eat a lot more. So I've definitely put on a bit of fluff, which isn't bad at all, but I know myself, I just want to, for summer now, cut it out a little bit. Yeah. And I was looking back at some of my old photos from like last summer when I was probably in one of the better shapes I have been. And I was just like really like getting hard on myself, being like, oh, you need to be old Phoebe, or you need to be like this, and judging myself. And I was thinking, you know what, they're all Phoebe. Like, the images I was looking at was when I was so toned, you could see like all of the abs coming through. That lasted for like 3-4 weeks. Yeah. And that's not sustainable. But now I've sat there comparing myself to myself and put myself into a bad, like, don't eat that cake for dessert.
No, I know what you mean, but I think, like, you can look back and think, oh, like, I want to look like that again. Fine. That's a healthy thing to think. Like, it's not a bad thing to think. But having, I don't know how to explain it the best way, wanting to go back to that shape is not going to happen like that. And I think that's what people think. And then when it doesn't obviously happen like that, it's then, oh shit, like, I can't do it, like, or whatever, like, I can't have that. And then it leads to kind of a downhill spiral. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do like the way you've done it though. I think I'd rather compare myself to myself than other people. Yeah. But we're just girls and we can't help it.
We have good weeks and bad weeks. Yes. What do you think about the look good, feel good approach to a gym, or like, does that determine whether your session is a good session if you feel like you're going into it looking good, if that makes sense?
For me personally, yes.
Yeah.
I think I've probably had 20% of my sessions where I've gone in like just looking like absolute shit, feeling like shit, and had a good session. Yeah. That, I think they're just flukes. 9 times out of 10, if I feel good, i.e. I've got a really cute new gym set on, or
new shoes,
or like my hair's done up nice, or I'm not talking like full face glam, but enough that I feel comfortable and I feel like sexy, then I will have a good session 9 times out of 10. If I look like crap,
then you'll feel like crap.
Yeah, and I don't tend to.
Yeah. It doesn't really, I don't know, I've never really thought about it, to be honest. Like, I don't wear a lot of makeup. I generally have my hair in the very same positions, either a ponytail or bun every day because of work. And it doesn't really, like, if I have a shit outfit on, I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like, it doesn't really
This is where we are polar opposites. Yeah. Do you reckon that's because of how we've been brought up? Not like by our parents, but just like our growing up stage.
Yeah, kind of, because like athletics, it was like everyone wears the exact same vest with your number on. Everyone at the time, like it was Nike Pro shorts. That's what everyone wore. And then you literally just had your spikes on, like that was it. Like that was it.
Yeah, where me, competitive dance and gymnastics, like you literally got judged off what you were wearing.
Yeah, see,
like,
no.
that was a critique. I remember being something like 6 years old, fake tanned, full face of makeup because I had to. Or like you'd have 7:30, 8 a.m. ballet class in the morning. You wouldn't be allowed in the studio unless you've got bright red lipstick on.
Really?
Yeah, that's how strict it was. Yeah. Wow. You did not go on stage. You did not turn up to class unless you were in full glam ready.
So I don't see anything drastically wrong with that, because that's what the sport is. Like that's what it always has been and probably will be.
Yeah, I can't see that changing anytime soon.
So that's why I don't think it's, if people say like, oh, you can't do that to your child. Like if you want them to do the sport, then that's the sport. Like that's it, kind of thing.
I don't know. I'm on two minds of it because it has. I don't know. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
A whole different topic, but that's definitely shaped me that I will go. Yeah, definitely. I have to look good. I'm getting a little bit better, but like if I was in the gym, completely like no fake tan, no makeup whatsoever, hair not slicked back because I get literally like a halo, don't I, of like baby hairs. If I just looked like I just rocked out of bed, like literally, not even looked in the mirror, and I went to the gym, I couldn't do it. Yeah. I'd have a shit session.
I think I do that more for a run, if it's like early morning, because I know no one's kind of really going to see me, or if they do, then it's literally pitch black.
I love the early morning runs in the dark.
Yeah. And then, but like for the gym, I might do a little bit more just because I don't know. I'm gonna see people in a public place. But for when I was younger, completely opposite to you. It's like as long as you were sound, body wise, performance wise, like you were fine. Like you didn't feel like you didn't have a headache or a tummy ache or whatever that day. Fine, go.
Oh, it's crazy the difference in sports.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Jeez, like you see now people though turn up to a marathon with a full face on, and I don't think I could do a full face because I'm
with sweaty people,
sweat, and it would all be gone. But I'm here for it. Like if the girls are feeling cute doing it, and the girls that can keep it on till the very end.
Wow.
I'm jealous of you. Please drop whatever setting spray you're using because I need it in my life. But yeah, I think the pressure on social media to look good while doing fitness has changed in the past year to maybe it's more focused on now.
But it's the same like coming out of fitness, just social media wise, like the clean girl aesthetic and stuff like that. When our generation slaps on something aesthetic, makes it a trend. Then it's like, oh, I've got to follow this trend. Kind of
everything's
thing.
beige, everything's
neutrals.
Yeah, no bright colours on the nails anymore. It's all
that's so true. Yeah, you used to, remember when you'd have like bright orange?
Yeah, you'd have one random green, different colour. Yeah. Oh God, you couldn't be doing that now.
No.
It's actually crazy what social media.
It's all like pastels as well.
Yeah. And I think I've been caught up into like going for a run and. Almost, it's like when we go to like a Saturday morning rocket run, sometimes I walk away without getting a photo and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Shit, I've got nothing to post.
Yeah, and I'm like, really? Like, do I actually need that? So I've got into the habit now, I'll put my phone on Do Not Disturb quite often, just stop it.
Yeah.
But
I never used to use Do Not Disturb because I was always like, I cannot miss a notification, no matter how unimportant or important it was. But now, if I'm like watching something, and I'd need to see like all notifications come through just in case. I don't want anyone to disturb me.
Yeah.
I'm in Do Not Disturb for like 80% of my day.
Do you know what trend I am loving?
What?
The High Rocks photos trend.
Oh, when you...
Where it's like, when you expect your photos to look like this, and they're actually like...
Yeah. Well, it's like, I saw this TikTok, I can't remember her name, but she just looks into like all the science behind running and stuff like that. But she did this post and she said like she posted all of her running photos from whatever race when she was on like the down strike. So you know when you put your foot down. No one looks good on a down strike. Like your quads all like jiggled about. Your face is like pulled down. And I think no one ever posts those ones either because you don't look great, but like no
so
one
like
looks
why
good.
would you post those?
Yeah.
I do get it. Why would you post a really unflattering, ugly photo of yourself when you've got another photo where you look semi-cute, your muscles are popping? Why would you?
I think it's just to remind people, just say like, this one, this is what I look like, but I also look like this, which is fine. That kind of thing.
Yeah, people have started doing those trends as well, haven't they? When I know our mate Tara did it for a bit of like, here's me posing in a mirror versus here's me sitting down naturally.
Yeah.
I like those a lot.
Yeah.
Because, it gets you thinking that those people that are standing there with a perfect six-pack.
Or it's even with like clothes, like, you know, when like your top's pulled down to a certain length and your leggings are pulled up to a certain length, as soon as you like flick it down or something like that, and it's like people sat like this.
Low-waisted leggings. If anyone has low-waisted leggings, I'm like in awe of you, because you would never see me in low-waisted leggings.
I feel like everything was just so high-waisted for so long.
Never used to be though. I remember when you could buy low-waisted leggings. And
I wasn't alive in that era.
I'm not that much older, you little bitch. She's only a few years younger than me. But there was a time when you could get low-waisted leggings.
Yeah,
low-rise or whatever they're called. Yeah. And, oh my gosh, no, not a chance.
I just think it'd be well uncomfortable.
Yeah, I love the high-waisted. I like now when we're sitting down, I can feel like my little tum go in. Like, I feel like I'm being hugged.
I'm secure.
I'm secure.
Yeah, rather than just like everything out.
Yeah. So how did you switch your mindset from, I don't know, overjudging yourself, social media, blah, blah, blah?
I don't really know, to be honest. Like, I couldn't tell you when it happened.
What a lovely answer. No, I don't really know.
I couldn't tell you when it happened or how it happened, but I think one thing that helped towards it is, like, people, like, any kind of influencer posting, like, what we just said, like, this is what I look like, but this is also what I look like. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, they are normal as well, kind of thing. And then it would just, unconsciously, just, like, reassured me to, I don't really care anymore. As simple as it sounds. I don't know what switch, but something switched.
So you don't have the moment?
No.
Oh, that was a hiccup, not a burp. Promise that's a hiccup.
No, I don't really have the moment that it switched.
Interesting.
I do have a shit memory though as well, so it might be that.
What's your shit memory?
But I don't remember when the moment switched.
Oh, but what's your shit memory? I want to know now. Are we sharing?
No, I mean, like, I've got a shit memory.
I thought you were like, I've got a shit memory about this bad thing that had happened to me.
No.
Oh, I'm going to say, not good. I think mine was, again, not an exact moment like of a switch, but when I decided to start sharing, like, the more truthful, unfiltered side, it was like exposure therapy. I was like, post it.
And then,
like, just see what happens.
Don't think just...
And nothing bad happened. Like, no one came up to me and was like, why did you post that video of you? You look like shit.
Did you post that by accident?
People were probably saying it behind my back. Yeah. But equally, I've tried to teach myself, like, if they're not saying it to my face and it's not my close friends, and if they were my close friends saying it, then they're not going to be a close friend.
Yeah.
Then I don't care, because I can't please everyone. So if people want to talk about it, then talk about it.
Even if you did think about it before you posted it, people would probably still talk about it behind your back anyway. You're just not going to know.
Yeah. Oh, she's posing too much. Oh, why is she not posing? You know what? So I try and not think about that whatsoever. And I think when I started posting more of like my real size, I got really good feedback. I had a lot of people say like, oh, that's really refreshing to see, or oh, such and such, like, love seeing your content, and like seeing like younger people as well. I was like, okay, I want to be the person that I needed to follow when I was younger.
I think it came from your Gymshark 66 challenge massively.
That's
where you done the most, obviously.
That was proper exposure therapy on some of those. I can't remember. I was just like, that happened today. I cried over this. Post it. And that was the definition of I'd post and go and do not disturb.
Yeah. You don't want to see the reaction, but there is no reaction.
Yeah. I look after, but no.
Yeah, whatever. You just convince yourself there's going to be one. But I also, once just popped into my head, this obviously isn't going to be for everyone, but if like you do enjoy posting on social media, talking to the camera is real exposure therapy. Like, I have to do it for work.
I'm still not looking at the camera.
I have to do it for work, and like when I first started doing it, Oh, I hated it. I couldn't think of any, like, all I could think about was even the person behind the camera. I'm like, what are they thinking of me right now talking to the camera? Like, blah, blah, blah. But now I've gotten a lot better at it. It's still like, it's still difficult. Like, I tried to vlog in Tesco the other day and I couldn't do it.
I've tried to do it in Aldi before and I couldn't do it.
I did it in a car park and then someone looked at me and they probably not even looked at me, they just looked in my direction. I was like, right, that's going, I'm done now.
But have you seen, there was a TikTok thing that someone said, and they were like, record yourself in public because the person watching you doesn't know if you've got 10 followers or 20 million. Like, they don't know. Yeah. The thing that scares me the most, but makes me stress about the most is if, like, in places like Tesco and you've got, like, Doris staring at me and I'm thinking, like, she ain't got a clue what I'm doing. She probably thinks I'm some sort of, like, lunatic that's, like, just filming myself. Like, if she's... Let them.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them theory, let them think it, whatever. Yeah. I think as well, it's... going back to the comparison side, because it just popped into my head about Strava and what we post and stuff. It's comparing yourself to others who you train with as well, and feeling the need, like, if they've posted that they've done 5-6 runs that week, all really strong and 6 PBs, oh, I need to do that too. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel that anymore. No. I used to.
I think I'm, like, era of, like, running now, I'm an adult. I've never done that because I spent my whole childhood doing that. So now I'm kind of just like, whatever, like, I don't want to run, fine. If they want to run, crack on, but I didn't want to. So.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for it sometimes when I'm having, but in a good way. Yeah. If I'm having a lazy week and I see, obviously because my whole fitness Instagram is all fitness people, so everyone is posting on their story the workout that they've just done, which I love. But I'll see it and be like, oh, they've just trained again.
And I'm just sat here.
Oh, I've got to go and put in a session tonight. Which 9 times out of 10, I take that as a positive because it keeps me motivated. Like when people ask what keeps you motivated, it is the people around me.
Yeah, definitely.
But sometimes it can be toxic and I'm like...
I do get FOMO
I need to go again.
Like certain runs and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, there were so many people that say I really wish I could have gone or I should go. But then I'm like, if I'm injured or something, the FOMO takes over.
Talking about FOMO and runs, I saw this girl on TikTok post and it blew my mind. This video of her, she was on holiday along a beach or something beautiful and she was doing like a 5k PB or something like that. She was like, lap 1 at this pace. Oh, I'm feeling like this. Oh, now lap 2. Da-da-da. Oh, phew, I've just finished. Amazing. And I was like, I watched it all. I was like, okay, cool. And then after she was like, that was completely fake.
Sick.
And I was like, what? She was like, I didn't run at all. I ran for like 10 metres at a time to film. I then just moved location and went again. I then sprayed some water on me and pretended to be out of breath for the end final. I've hit my PB and just lapped it. I'm giving people ideas now.
That is such a good idea.
And then just lapped it with... like overlaid it with her actual PB, so she had done it before, but she hadn't just filmed it. And she was saying, don't believe or don't judge yourself on everyone. Because I always used to think, how are people running these PBs with their phones out?
Yeah, I always think that, like, when I did my 5k PB, not a chance I'd have been able to get my phone out and record.
I can't do any content when I am smashing it, So, and that was the whole point of the video, being like, stop comparing yourself to these influencers who are doing these amazingly hard things easy on camera.
That's a very powerful message. That's I love videos like that.
I need to try and find it again. I'll send it you.
Yeah.
The same with she did another one which a lot of us do. I think mainly coaches. So you've probably done it. So it's different to what I don't do it. But filming, like doing their gym session. And then filming a set to post.
Oh, okay.
But I think if you're trying to film something as an educational purpose,
fine.
I get it because you want to show the correct what's the word? The correct
form.
Yeah. What's this, Charl?
What exercise are you doing there?
Do you know, that's because we were talking about doing bench press in the gym. I don't do bench press, hence why I was like this.
Yeah, it's a great bench. That is.
So that I can understand.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Like for educational purposes, even if I've done the session, I'll just do that exercise again, quickly.
Yeah.
For the educate, or especially if I'm having to talk whilst doing the exercise, like instructing it, for example, I'll film it like as a fake set kind of thing.
Because we found it so hard, didn't we, trying to film our High Rock sessions.
Well, that's just impossible because you're like on every single location inside the gym.
Yeah. We're trying to film a session while actually doing the session full out.
Yeah.
That was an eye opener. That was hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it.
Okay, so let's do our Unfiltered with Us.
Question
time.
Woo! So today we asked, what struggles or confessions do you have with Instagram versus reality in fitness? Here's a good one. Realising my body doesn't look like it does in posed Insta shots all the time. Hear it. Hear it.
No one's does though.
I know, but like...
I know, I understand, like, why they feel like that.
I wasn't coming for you then. I was being like, I know, but like... I don't even know actually what was going on. I was really backing her case. I was like, yeah, I feel you, babe. I get that. Yeah. Okay, so what was our question again? What confessions do you have Instagram versus reality? The way that people act that supplements or vitamins for weight loss are the shit.
Don't get me started on weight loss supplements. Sending me onto a spiral of hating now. Like, you know when you see on TikTok, like, Bloom Greens, they'll de-bloat you.
Oh, yeah.
OxyShred, make you lose fat. No, it fucking won't.
I can confess, I once brought an OxyShred.
No, I completely understand.
Like 40, 50 quid that tub.
Yeah.
And I was expecting miracles and it didn't happen.
I really understand why people buy it because they've got people on their marketing team that know how to sell and they can sell to anyone. But obviously it doesn't actually produce those results.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I think it can aid 100%, but you've got to be doing all the other things.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not doing any form of exercise, and let's say your goal is to lose fat, then and you're not in a calorie deficit, but you're taking all these greens,
it's not
going to work. End of.
It's not going to work. What struggles or confessions do you have with Instagram versus reality? I repost all my workouts that I do, but I skip the gym more than I'd like to admit. Ooh.
What do you mean by repost? Like,
I don't know. As in, like, you're reposting old gym content, so it looks like you're in there like 4 times a
I didn't
week
even think about that.
when you're not.
I mean, if you do, like, that's
again.
sad.
I think it depends though. If you're trying to, yeah.
If you have actually trained, you just didn't film anything, fine, reuse clip, I do that all the time. But if you haven't actually trained and you're trying to push the fact
show
that you have
are
trained for weeks, like, there's nothing wrong and there's nothing shameful with admitting that you haven't trained all week. I know what we'd done last weekend, but I didn't train at all last week.
I'm going to be the harsh person. You're just cheating yourself.
Yeah.
You're just cheating yourself, but they know it, so...
They just, whether they want to change anything about it, but...
Yeah.
But it's quite sad that some people feel like they have to need to do that.
Oh, completely. And again, it's social media pressure. So, I only post when I'm lean or pumped. I never post when I'm soft or tired. I didn't know how I felt reading that one then. But yeah, so I only post when I've got a good pump.
Yeah. So
again, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. No, I don't post. It's like, you know when you film like a day in the life?
Yeah.
No, whatever. You don't film yourself like as soon as you get out of bed with your puffy eyes.
I've tried that a few times.
Yeah, you look at the video.
Like,
yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, you can't be seeing that.
Yeah, you're like,
yet.
there's just some things, you look at it and you're like, that can't go out.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's something for us both to do, is to do a day in the life and actually film that first shot getting out of bed. The thing is with me, it's always dark, so you can't see. Yeah. And then you put the flash on, you're like... so you're just putting your face, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for us to work on. I feel the pressure to stay lean all year round because of what I post, even when I want to bulk.
If you want to bulk. If you don't want people to see you bulking, don't post it.
Oh, that was spicy.
No, because I think, like, I used to think things like that as well. But for me, anyway, the only thing that worked, as in, like, making myself feel better, is, like, saying something like that to myself. Like, if I want to eat it, like, I'll eat it. I don't have to tell everyone that I've eaten it, or I don't have to tell everyone that I haven't eaten it.
Yeah, I like that. I like it. I get it though, because I've always wanted to do like a bulk to try and grow muscle. But I'm so scared to actually bulk.
Yeah.
But then I can bulk by accident quite easily. Like I'll just eat and be like, whoopsie.
Yeah.
But to actually go on a controlled bulk.
I think if it's bodybuilder wise, then it's very different. It's like hats off to bodybuilders. I couldn't the way that they have to work around their nutrition and their bodies. I could never do it. Never ever do it. It's like to stay. Obviously, no bodybuilder stays in. Well, not that I know of anyway. That stays as lean as they do, like pre-comp
all year round.
They that's like physically not possible because of how much stress their body's under from how little food.
Healthy.
It's not sustainable, but
for a comp, you can do it.
Yeah, and if you want to bulk, then obviously carry on. And if someone asks you, like, if someone was to ever dare to ask you why don't you look as lean, then you don't need to explain.
If someone ever said to me in the gym, oh, like, why don't you look as lean anymore? Like, where's your muscles gone? Where's your six pack? Oh,
no one should ever ask that.
Yeah, I actually have a mate, and he's a friend that I've had for years and years and years, and I know he meant nothing by it. And I've always been quad dominant. I've always had juicy legs. And he said to me the other day, he hadn't seen me in ages, and he went, your thighs have got wham. And I was like...
See, in his head, that's probably a compliment, but in your head, that's not a compliment.
I was like...
Yeah.
Geez, because I know I've lost my muscle tone a bit from all the running, and I feel like I've got a bit more flubbery, and I know he didn't mean it like that, but that's a typical definition of like a man not understanding what they've said, and I was like, yeah, but he thought like,
yeah, like that's
your
a
legs.
good thing,
and
yeah.
Like, but there's a whole different story. What was that question again? What struggles or confessions do you have with Instagram versus reality? I compare myself to influencers, but forget that they have pro lighting filters and probably help. Do you know what the help part I never thought about?
Yeah, that's just popped into my head when you started saying that one. Help as in like someone following them around with a camera. Yeah, their content's going to look way better. They haven't got to worry about the filming, then they haven't got to edit it.
It's like when you go out and have like a girl's photo shoot before a night out because you fit.
Yeah.
And I've always got the one friend that will work the angle. She's like, yeah. She's like, Fee, you won't like that move. And I'm like, yes. But then I get other people, like Marcus, who'll take a photo of me, and I could literally be like, by accident.
You look great, Phoebe.
Yeah, and he'll be like, great, love that. He'll be like, there you go. And I'm like,
no,
like, why didn't you tell me I had a massive double chin and my fat rolls are hanging out? And he's like, he said to me once, he went, but that's what I'm working with, that's you. And I was like...
Did he actually say that?
Yeah, he did. But again, he didn't mean it like in a savage way. It was just one of those lad things. He's like,
that's what I'm working with.
That's what you look like. I'm like, oh, just tell me to turn slightly to the left. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Is he learning? Has he got better?
Slowly. But I think any lad's got to learn how to tread on water. You tell someone, your double chin's out. Yeah. It's a touchy subject.
Just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Or take it private. Just be like, by the way, even that, no, actually.
Oh, yeah. I think it depends on the relationship you have with that person.
Yeah.
Where Marcus will happily now in front of you all be like, Phoebe looked ridiculously bad. I think he said to her the other day about something, and I was just like, yeah. But that was a whole different story.
Yeah.
Do you know, I really, really loved that episode today.
Yeah.
I think more people need to talk about it. You don't have to look like you're crushing it to actually crush it.
I feel like people...
I like that.
Yeah, that was good. Tag that. That's a tagline.
Yeah.
I feel like... what was I going to say? Oh, I feel like people want to talk about it, but they don't want to talk about it because you could end up offending someone, maybe.
Yeah, sorry for you offending anyone, but...
Just
trying to be real.
Yeah. It's just,
you know what? No, I don't think we have. I think we've just said like our opinions on...
And everyone has different opinions on that stuff, and it's so subjective, which is why it could easily offend someone.
I think we're all on our own journey, so if you still want to post photos with perfect lighting, filters, whatever, then you do you. Like, do
There's nothing wrong with that.
I will still do it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just helped me personally to move out of that and to step away from only seeing that side. I need to see a mix.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, anyway.
And if you need to see a mix, then you feel comfortable with posting a mix, and that's fine. I feel like not everything has to be justified.
Picture perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Episode 3.